Hi everyone, it's Beck here from Hello, my name is Beck and I am popping in to do a catch-up of my reading journal. So when I say catch-up, I mean a whole year worth of reading in the reading journal since I actually made the first video earlier this year. So I have taken my time in printing out the photos of each of the covers, and yeah, and then I'll go through and do each one. So the one before this, I actually did start filming before this page, and unfortunately the footage was corrupt because the SD card, the little slide was in the wrong direction. It should have actually been open, so it just meant that the filming wasn't going on. So I actually have a book before this which is called Open When. So the one that I have just done here is The Hobbit. So I'll read this out to you. I found this book very hard going, and in fact I gave up halfway through it. I got to the point where it sat on my bedside table and I wasn't reading anything because I was avoiding picking this one up. There was just so much walking, and when I was over halfway and they'd not reached the dragon yet, I deserted this book. So this is Open When, which is by Dr. Julie Smith. She's actually a psychologist. So I've written this book, had multiple chapters on life situations and how you can cope and manage with your feelings throughout difficult times. Dr. Julie has an Instagram account which has helpful reels to talk about things from apathy, loneliness, and climbing out of darkness. This book was a great listen, and a lot of it wasn't current in my life. However, it will be good to come back to in times of struggle. So let's catch up with where I am in the video. This one here is The Lost Bookshop. I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. The author is Evie Woods. I actually read this for about 7 hours, yeah, so the date of this one was the 18th of May. And the quote I have written, "The thing about books is that they help you imagine a life bigger and better than you could ever dream of." I wrote a wonderful book that I couldn't put down after a month of not reading a thing. A series of different zones and characters, or time zones and characters, whose stories intertwine around a lost bookshop. A good twist at the end, definitely one to kick off the year of reading again, even though it was already May. Doubtful that I'll reach 20 books at this rate, which I do actually reach 20 books, not ones that I've read though. You'll see why later. Okay, so next page is One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. I gave One Dark Window 5 stars and 4 stars for the Two Twisted Crowns. The dates I read this one was around the 27th of May and then the 8th of June. And I read through both. Anyway, yeah, so I was speed reading through both of these. It says, I enjoyed One Dark Window so much that I didn't have time to go and get the physical copy of the Two Twisted Crowns. I purchased a digital copy of to read over the weekend. The second book wasn't as good as the first, but I still love the concept of the kind of magic throughout this series of books. The characters were so interesting, and I loved the redemption story of the best friend. I loved reading these 2 books on a rainy and cold weekend in my cozy armchair, so hence why I've stuck a cozy armchair down at the bottom. Okay, so on the next page I have Nevermore, Wondersmith, Holopox and Silverborn. These are all tales of Morrigan Crow. So you've got the first one, which is Trials of Morrigan Crow. Second one, Calling of Morrigan Crow, The Hunt for Morrigan Crow, and The Mystery of Morrigan Crow. So the new book had just been released and I wanted to reread all of the other books. So when I went to Fiji with the girls, I actually started with Nevermore when I was in Fiji, and then I ended up finishing Silverborn when I got back. So the dates I actually read these were from the 1st of July through to the 20th of July for these books. So I wrote there with the new release of Silverborn, The Mystery of Morrigan Crow. I took Nevermore and Wondersmith to Fiji in July. I needed to reread the series to keep up with the latest book. I managed to read all 4 books within a month of July. I love the characters, the different magic within the series. The last 2 books haven't been as good, and I'm glad I've continued on with Morrigan's story. I hope Jessica Townsend can bring the next book back up to the quality of book 1 and 2. I can't wait to see the twist about Ezra's school in the coming books. The quote that I did there from Juniper North is, "Things happen in life all the time, unexpected things you couldn't possibly expect because they're so very unexpected." Okay, so next 2 pages, this is where I ended up going straight to audiobooks. So this point in the year actually got a bit hard for me, a bit tough at work. So I ended up from this point out having audiobooks. So you see there I have listened to How to Be a Champion and This Much Is True and Oh Miriam. These are all comedians, and yeah, the books were really good to be able to listen to and distract from what was going on in my everyday life. I gave Sarah Millican's How to Be Champion 4 stars, and then Miriam Margolyes, This Much Is True and Oh Miriam, I gave them 5 stars. Absolutely brilliant to listen to. Absolutely loved these because they gave me lots and lots of laughs. So yeah. Flipping over to the next page, I've got the Crescent City series. The quote there is, "Light it up, Danica, light it up." If you've read the series or know of the books, then you'll know exactly why I have written that one there, because it's just a really good quote of the friendship that they have. So it's another set of audiobooks that I listened to. Apparently the total of the audiobooks of those was 85 hours and 14 minutes, and I gave them 5 stars. I didn't like the spice in the books, but I was able to fast forward through the spice because I absolutely liked the series, the urban magic going on in that tale of the city, and yeah, it's a really good story. So on the right hand side here we've got That's a Great Question by Elise Myers. And so she released her book on the 28th of October. I had pre-ordered this one through Audible, and yeah, I really loved listening to her story. I felt that the book wasn't long enough because I got disappointed at the end with finishing it. I'm hoping that she has another one out very soon because I'd love to continue listening to Elise's story. So the 5 hours and 30 minutes of her book there, and it was a new release. Okay, so on the next page I've got the whole Harry Potter series. I actually had spent time while listening to the Crescent series and the other books. I'd actually managed to get quite a lot of credits on Audible because I'd listened to months and months of stuff and also podcasts and things. So I managed to get all 7 Harry Potter books by Stephen Fry, and I loved listening to these. Definitely, I'll read out what I've written. This series was another distraction from real life for me, although at times what Harry faced with the High Inquisitor and the Dementors seemed to be reflecting some of the circumstances I was facing at work. The choice between what is right and what is easy is a struggle right now. So many colleagues are choosing the easy path, whereas justice means a lot to me in the same way it did to Harry. So yeah, I'm finding it exactly what I'm going through. I did listen to the Empath Survival Guide. I gave it 2 stars. It really wasn't very good. So I've written here, with people questioning my over-emotional connection to the situation at work, I decided to listen to this audiobook. There were some good insights into things that I recognise in myself and things I already do without realising why, i.e. submerging in water to feel better. So the next page I did was Billy Connolly. I'm actually just finishing up listening to that one as we speak. It's December 2025, and his autobiography is called Windswept and Interesting. Loving it so far. Love Billy Connolly. Definitely one of our all-time great comedians, I would say. And so this is where I'm doing the overview for the year. Like I said, in the title of this title of the video, I've called it the ultimate catch-up, because it literally is me doing a whole year's worth of books here. Now you can see that a lot of them are audiobooks. Probably over half of them are audiobooks because of what I have been going through at work and some of the stress that I have been dealing with. So I ended up sort of almost giving up on reading at one stage and ending up going with listening to books for distraction, which actually did really work. I've done really well with distracting my overwhelming thoughts. So in total, it's 28 books. A little bit disappointed the fact that it's actually not books that I have read, but mainly listened to books. So I'm hoping that this next year I can manage to read more books. In fact, last night I went on ChatGPT and I listed out some of my favourite books of the year. And I said to ChatGPT, please can you list out some books similar to these, because I really enjoyed the ones that I've listened to, and it's come up with a really good list of books. So I'm looking forward to popping to the bookshop tomorrow and maybe picking up a few. All right, so this is my little flip through. Thank you so much for watching, guys, with my catch up. I hope you're all well. Happy New Year. Take care of yourselves. Lots of crafty love from me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Bye.